A rainy night in London, a test of humanity. When the fiancé of 3 years told her to call an ambulance, a stranger's Mercedes-Benz stopped for her instead. Caught between the moves of a high-society marriage arrangement, she is both a bargaining chip and a discarded pawn. Until a driving school business card and a man with a ring-tanned finger lead her to a decision to take her life back into her own hands. This time, she will no longer wait for someone else to rescue her. After hanging up the phone, Alison had no energy left to inform anyone else. She unlocked her phone, her fingers absently scrolling through social media, where her stepsister, Sophia Chen's post soon caught her eye. Carpe diem. The picture was an overhead shot of over a dozen hands holding up glasses in a toast. Although only the glasses and wrists were visible, Alison instantly recognized the cufflink next to Sophia's hand. Rose gold, with 3 intricately interlocking gears at its center. It was the one she had specially custom-made for his 25th birthday at an old workshop in the Burlington Arcade. She had a pair of matching earrings herself, which James had picked up for her from some antique market. Back then, he had kissed her earlobe and said with a smile, "Once gears interlock, they can't be separated. Neither of us can escape." But he knew better than anyone how her stepmother, Isabella, and stepsister, Sophia, had entered the scene, and politely asked her and her mother, Vivian, to leave the Chelsea townhouse. He knew better than anyone that it was a poison-tipped thorn lodged in Alison's throat. He had once promised at her father's sickbed that he would never have any private dealings with the Chen family's new members, and would only conduct any necessary business through assistants. Indeed, the one who knows you best knows exactly how to pierce your weakest spot with precision. And her mother, Vivian, was still painstakingly scheming to marry her gloriously into the Winster family, so she could hold her head high in front of her father, stepmother, and her circle of society friends. If this face were truly lost because of her, Alison could hardly imagine how her mother would collapse. It was just that this relationship, long since tasteless as chewing wax, was something she was really struggling to sustain. The next morning, she forced herself to sit up and sent a message to her assistant asking for leave. Her assistant, however, immediately called back, her voice deliberately hushed and tense. "Alison, are you okay?" In this morning's department meeting, Director Lewis directly assigned the How You Capital project to Team B. "Weren't you doing the on-site due diligence yesterday? Did it fall through?" "What were the director's exact words?" He said, "It was you who soured the client relationship. And it was Ms. by Team B lead who personally salvaged the situation at the cocktail party. So the project rightfully belongs to them." Her assistant's voice was indignant, but we prepared for so long. From the moment she left last night, Alison had foreseen this outcome. Her reaction was unusually calm. "I understand. The team should proceed with current projects as usual. Don't concern yourselves with anything else for now." The investment bank's major client division only had 2 teams. They had always been in a life-or-death competitive relationship, employing endless tactics to snatch resources. She had originally disdained such behavior. But in a place like Goldman Sachs, performance is the only valid currency. Moreover, this year the company began implementing a bottom-ranking elimination system. The team at the bottom must let go of its lowest performer. This was something Alison absolutely did not want to see happen. She opened her email and dealt with a few urgent work messages. Her mother Vivian's call chased her in again. "Still about that necklace. You must bring the necklace back for me to inspect first. If there are any flaws, I need to take it up with the Graf boutique immediately." This is a significant sum. Alison rubbed her throbbing temple. Why did it have to be so expensive? This careless attitude instantly ignited Vivian's anger. "Everything I do is for you. You heartless little thing. Look how well your cousin Anna married. In a few days, she's bringing her Silicon Valley CEO son-in-law back to the country. How proud your aunt must be now. And look at you. What can I possibly hope for from you?" Alison had long grown numb to the spiel. A rare spark of defiance rose in her, and she softly retorted, "Perhaps you really shouldn't pin your hopes on me anymore. Why not? Consider starting a new character." The other end of the line erupted into what sounded like a roar, followed by heavy panting. "Alison, are you trying to kill me with anger?" This was followed by exaggerated, violent coughing. This trick again. Yet Alison could never truly harden her heart against it. She had no choice but to soften her tone. "All right, mother. I'll do as you say." Only then did Vivian hang up satisfied. Alison knew that in any confrontation with her mother, the only way to settle the storm was for her to yield first. The call had just ended when the hospital room door was flung open. A travel-weary Megan Young rushed in, throwing her arms around Alison, her voice choked with tears. "Darling, I only went to Geneva for a 3-day business trip. How did you end up in the hospital? What on earth happened?" Alison gently pushed her away. "Let's not be so dramatic. Also, you're pressing on my foreline." "Oh, sorry." Megan immediately withdrew her exaggerated expression and plopped down on the edge of the bed. "All alone in the hospital? Didn't your mom come?" Alison glanced at her. "Given my condition, don't I deserve a few days of peace and quiet?" "What's this? A delayed onset teenage rebellion finally hitting at 25? Megan teased. But she understood completely. Over the years, she had witnessed firsthand how Miss Vivian's five-finger mountain loomed over Alison's life. After taking a bite of an apple, Megan suddenly remembered something and asked indignantly, "What about James? You're hospitalized, and he's still out there partying." Alison's eyelashes lowered, veiling the gloom in her eyes. "You saw it too?" George Joe's WeChat moments are practically live streaming it. Megan pulled out her phone, swiped a few times, then paused. "But how's he mixed up with Sophia Chin? A man like that, if you don't dump him. Are you keeping him for Christmas? George Joe?" Alison opened WeChat with one hand, scrolled through his moments, but found she couldn't see that particular post at all. Clearly, she had been blocked. It seemed James wasn't the only one treating her like a fool. Megan's older brother, James, George Joe, and that circle of well-known second-generation heirs in the city of London had a fixed little circle, often getting together for events. It seemed Sophia had managed to infiltrate it. Alison's father, Chin Jindong, had built his early fortune relying on his father-in-law's, Alison's maternal grandfather's, shipping company. After her grandfather passed away, Chin Jindong himself had amassed a considerable fleet, allowing him to become independent from the Su family and establish his own footing. But compared to those deeply rooted old money families in London, the Chin family's foundation was still somewhat lacking. That Sophia could enter that circle was indeed beyond Alison's expectations. Thinking of this, Alison said to Megan with a serious expression, "Find a chance to ask your brother for me. Who brought Sophia into that circle?" Megan agreed immediately, then got down to business. While continuing to condemn that bastard James, she earnestly asked Alison, "Seriously, don't you think about getting a driver's license and buying a car? You can't just passively wait to be rescued every time." Alison had indeed entertained this thought last night, but due to the shadow of her grandfather's fatal car accident years ago, she had always harbored a fear of driving, and her mother Vivian turned pale at the mere mention of cars. Seeing her hesitate, Megan piled on the pressure. "I know the owner of a driving school. The pass rate is extremely high. You can get your license in 2 months at the earliest. Want to give it a try? Actually, the risk of driving is the same as being a passenger. The only difference is whether you hold your life in your own hands or hand it over to someone else." After saying this, she raised an eyebrow and looked at Alison. "What do you think?" Remembering last night when calling for help was futile and feeling utterly helpless, Alison steeled her heart and nodded. "Then, better to hold it in my own hands." "Now you're talking." Megan had always been swift and decisive in her actions. She immediately dialed a number. "Arrange a VIP slot for my friend. She has a busy job. Her schedule is tight. You must be available at her beck and call." "The fee? All right. I'll transfer it to you now." Before Alison could stop her, Megan had already tapped rapidly on her phone screen several times. Then she showed Alison the successful payment screen. her face saying, "Praise me. A VIP package, you know. Sis here really splurged. Guaranteed to satisfy you." Alison frowned. "So expensive? Can it be refunded?" "Refund nothing. You'll see once you go. It's absolutely worth every penny." "Wait." Alison looked more carefully at the payment note. "Mayfair Elite Driving Academy. It couldn't be such a coincidence, could it? It was exactly the same name as on the business card from yesterday. With such a flamboyant name, there probably wasn't a second one like it in all of London." She looked up and asked Megan, "That driving school owner of yours, is his surname Shaw?" "Yes. Leon Shaw. Retired race car driver. Top-notch skills." "You know him too." Did she know him? Alison didn't elaborate. Just made a private resolution that when she went to the driving school, she must return yesterday's fare and the blanket to him in person. Not long after Megan left in the afternoon, James's call came in. Presumably, Megan had called him up and given him an earful right after leaving. Alison found this kind of forced concern especially cheap. Coupled with the Sophia matter still stuck in her throat, she didn't answer. She only sent a brief reply on WhatsApp. "Let's both focus on our own things. Perhaps we both need some space to cool off." At least this way, she would no longer have any expectations. Without expectations, there would be no more disappointment.